Well, we thought we were going to be completely rained out this weekend. We have tropical storms coming off from the coast. But we have a break in the weather, so we are getting out pretty locally. We're on 4 Mile Creek, Greenway in Charlotte. I'm going over the creek right now. This is a cool trail because it connects through with a couple different greenways. You can connect 4 Mile Creek and Lower McAlpine Creek and McMullen Creek greenways all together. So we actually have some very blue sky out today. Had the rain, it's expected to come back in very soon, so we're making the most of our time right now. And since we've been getting quite a bit of rain, we figured this greenway wouldn't be a bad choice for today. It won't be as muddy or slippery, and Caden's able to get out on his rollerblades. It's a little bit of different kind of movement today, so it's always good. I think it's so cool as we're walking away from the parking area in the street. The sound of the cars going by gets a lot quieter. You can hear the sounds of nature a little bit more, and the sounds of the cars zooming by a little bit less. It's neat that they create these greenways, especially with so much boardwalk needed to go through these wetland areas. And I think it took a while for people to understand the value of wetlands for the environment, but they're so important, and we'd have a lot of environmental issues without them. So these greenways are neat because they don't disturb what's there naturally and allows us to explore them a little bit. Oh, that root is growing up into the greenway. Very cool. I think the idea of communication is always, it's a given that it's important, but oh, it's cool. You can see some yellow and purple in the plants over there. It's always a given that it's important, and people talk about, like, yeah, communication is important, but I think the busyness of life and chaos and just everything else going on around us sometimes prevents some of that communication from happening. These are really pretty too. The pink popping out. Everything's wet. It looks even brighter green. So I know I don't get to catch up with my parents as much as I would like to. Hear about how they're doing and tell them about what's going on with us. Life has just gotten a little overwhelming lately, so it takes away from the time and energy to be able to do that, unfortunately. But it was so nice to catch up with my mom. It's a pretty little creek bed the other day, and that was so good just to catch up. And there was no real purpose to the call except just to see how she was doing, and we're excited because we'll be able to see them in a couple weeks. That doesn't happen enough anymore either. So every phase of life has its pros and cons. Trying to appreciate the pros that are there and not dwell on the cons. Cattails in there. When we came out of the trees, we've been feeling a little breeze since. There's all kinds of people out today. It's not crowded, but I think other people are trying to take advantage of the little bit of nice weather we're having. It's not happening very much over this week. There's people on bikes and walking and running, e-bikes, some of everything out here. There's a pretty section of boardwalk along the creek. Starting to look like fall. Some color change in the leaves and leaves falling. Quite pretty. That was so funny. I was just finished saying that I had just gotten to talk to my mom earlier this week, and then my phone started ringing. It was my dad, so I got to catch up with him. It was really nice, really cool timing. I've been trying to teach my kids about the value and importance of communication, and when somebody is communicating with them, they actually want you to hear and understand what they're saying. Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to nobody in a class full of kids. So, important life skill they need to learn. I think the boardwalk is really cool because it's made of wood, so natural material, even though it's constructed by people, but it maintains that natural feel of the woods, and it keeps us from walking through all the muck. That's appreciated. So with communication, really appreciated Caleb yesterday after work, making a point to try to communicate about my struggles with me and helping me to make a plan and help make that plan come to fruition. So the idea of, all right, things aren't where you want them to be right now, but where would you like them to be in a year? Let's work towards that and have that as the motivation and the goal that keeps you moving forward. Because you can do anything for a year. You can deal with the struggles or the tough times, the tough situations or circumstances. Granted, you can deal with it longer than that, but when you know you have an end date, it does make it a lot easier to bear. So we'll see where things take us, but there's definitely the idea of outdoor education, enrichment experiences that I'm so passionate about for kids, especially because in the world today, they're not experiencing those things. They're not being exposed to those things. So, if I had my choice, it'd be in that realm. But even if that's not where I go full time, maybe that'll be integrated into what I'm doing a little bit more. Have that purpose and drive. And hopefully the school year will progress a little more smoothly. We had a pep rally on Friday, and I thought it was hysterical. Good thing we have a boardwalk here. My kids are so loud that everyone can hear them at the other side of the school with our door closed because they're so loud and they just struggle with it. So I told them when it's time to be quiet at the pep rally, you're supposed to sit down. That's what you better do, and no problems. We're not dealing with it. But when they're encouraging you to get up or be loud, get it all out. And my homeroom was probably the quietest group of kids in that entire gym during that pep rally. So I guess because it wasn't on their terms, they weren't into it. They still were talking the entire time, but never joined in with the loud hype that everyone else was enjoying. I've seen these along the trail. So many of them are kind of battered looking from the weather. Those actually are in really good shape though. And a good variety of plant life out here. Ivy growing up trees, different species of trees, pops of color. This section has some pine trees, so we have lots of pine needles on the ground. Our sun is slowly becoming more hidden. Less blue skies as these clouds are moving back in. Grateful for the time we've had though today. The sound of the traffic is picking up, so we're making our way back. Hope you're able to spend a little time outside today. It was just a few minutes. And I'll see you next time on the trail with Heart.